What happened when you risked your life for a stranger? This woman, Naomi, approached me at the coffee shop where I was working on my laptop and slipped me $300 to sit at a nearby table while she broke up with her boyfriend, Jeremy. She said she needed a witness in case things went bad because Jeremy had a temper and she was scared to do it alone. Naomi explained that Jeremy had never hit her, but he'd punched walls, thrown phones, and once drove his car through his ex's garage door when she'd ended things. She'd been trying to leave for months, but every time she tried, he'd explode and she'd back down. She picked this restaurant because it was public enough that he couldn't completely lose it, but quiet enough that I could intervene if needed. All I had to do was sit one table over, pretend to work on my laptop, and call 911 if Jeremy got violent. He'd completely alienated her from all her friends, so there was no one else she could ask. She promised he'd be there at noon, and it would be over by 12:30. I needed the money and figured nothing too bad could happen in a crowded restaurant. Jeremy arrived 5 minutes late. He was bigger than I expected, the kind of guy who had veins visible in his forehead even when calm. He kissed Naomi, and she turned her cheek, the first sign something was wrong. I opened my laptop and pretended to type while positioning myself so I could see them in my screen's reflection. Naomi started talking in this measured voice she'd probably practiced 100 times, and my stomach tightened knowing what was coming. At first, Jeremy laughed like she was joking, but when she kept going, his smile froze, then disappeared completely. He reached across the table and grabbed her wrist, not hard enough to make her cry out, but I could see her hand turning red. "You're not serious," he said, loud enough that the couple next to them looked over. Naomi pulled her hand back and kept talking, saying something about different paths, and Jeremy's jaw started doing this twitching thing. I found myself gripping my phone harder, ready to move if he grabbed her again. The waiter came to take their order, and Jeremy ordered for both of them without asking her, his voice totally normal like they weren't in the middle of a breakup. The fake normalcy made my skin crawl because I could see his knuckles were white where he gripped the menu. As soon as the waiter left, he leaned forward and started talking fast and low, and I could only catch pieces. 3 years, everything I've done, you can't just... His hands were moving wildly, and he knocked over the salt shaker, then the pepper, then his water glass. The busboy rushed over to clean up, and Jeremy smiled at him, thanked him, then went right back to that intense whisper. The rapid mood switch scared me more than if he'd just stayed angry. Naomi tried to stand up, but Jeremy grabbed her arm and pulled her back down, still smiling like they were having a normal conversation. My phone was already in my hand with 911 pre-dialed, my thumb hovering over the call button. Part of me wanted to intervene right then, or just get the hell out of there, but I kept thinking about the $300 and how Naomi had specifically said to wait unless he got violent. But watching her trapped there, trying to leave while he held her purse, made me feel like a coward for not stepping in. Jeremy was getting louder now, saying, "Who is he? Just tell me who he is," over and over, while Naomi kept saying there was nobody else. Jeremy stood up suddenly, and his chair fell backward with a crash that made everyone jump, including me. He picked it up, laughing, apologizing to the room, then sat back down and grabbed both of Naomi's hands across the table. To anyone watching, it might have looked romantic, but I could see her trying to pull away and him not letting go. My whole body was tense, ready to spring up, but I kept remembering Naomi's instructions to stay invisible unless absolutely necessary. "We're going to work this out," he said, louder now, "because you love me and I love you, and that's what people who love each other do." The manager started walking over, but Jeremy saw him coming and let go of Naomi's hands, putting his palms up like he was surrendering. Sorry, just having a passionate discussion with my girlfriend," he said, and the manager hesitated. That's when Naomi said clearly, "I'm not your girlfriend anymore," and Jeremy's face went completely blank, like she'd hit a switch. He stood up slowly this time, deliberately, and walked around to Naomi.